Papoose played Claressa Shields in plain sight, and the receipts have been public the entire time. A VladTV interview where he said absolutely not to marrying her while she had his name tattooed on her body. 50 Cent dropping AI-generated content and alleged private footage to expose what was happening behind closed doors. And a divorce from Remy Ma that Papoose filed in May 2025 and still has not finalized, while Claressa was on podcasts announcing their baby plans for 2026. From a handshake at a boxing match in July 2024 to cheating allegations, leaked communications, a legal battle with 50 Cent, and a public absolutely not in less than 2 years.
Today, we are giving you the full timeline, every receipt, every snap, and every moment the internet missed, step by step. If you have been watching this unfold and something has felt off from the beginning, you were not wrong. And this breakdown is going to show you exactly why. Real quick before we start, if you are not subscribed yet, my landlord literally showed up this morning and I told him the rent is coming as soon as my channel hits 10,000 subscribers. So please, I am begging you, do not let me get evicted over Claressa Shields drama. Before we get into the fallout and the receipts and the accusations flying from every direction, you need to understand who Claressa Maria Shields actually is, because the weight of what is happening to her reputation right now only makes sense when you understand what she built before any of this drama started unfolding. The nickname GWOT, Greatest Woman of All Time, came after her second Olympic gold medal. And when you have backed it up the way she has, the title is hard to argue with. Her professional record as of February 2026 sits at 18 wins, 0 losses, with 3 knockouts spanning 18 major world championships across 5 weight classes. She holds the record for becoming a 2, 3, 4, and 5 division world champion in fewer fights than anyone in the sport's history. And both ESPN and The Ring ranked her the world's best active female boxer pound for pound as of August 2025. Think about what that number actually means before we move on. In November of that same year, she locked in a multi-fight deal with Salida Promotions and Win Records worth a guaranteed minimum of $8 million. $8 million! She made that announcement herself, publicly, confidently, and without apology. Her last fight, February 22, 2026, against Franchon Cruz Dezern at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit, ended with every judge giving her every single round, scorecards reading 100-90 across the board, and a total punch output of 226 landed compared to her opponent's 106. That is not a competitive fight. That is a statement bout. And yet, the conversation that has been following her for the past year and a half is not about any of that. It is about whether Papoose is stepping away, whether there is footage circulating behind the scenes, whether the receipts are real, and whether everything she built is about to get swallowed by a public fallout she may not be able to control. But here is what makes this situation different from every other celebrity fallout you have seen. The person who started the fire was not Claressa, was not Papoose, and was not even 50 Cent. The person at the center of all of this is a Brooklyn rapper named Papoose, whose real name is Shamaili Mackey, and who, until late 2024, represented something very specific in hip-hop culture. Him and Remy Ma. Married in 2016, together for years before that, featured on Love and Hip Hop, celebrated as a real example of black love. During Remy's 6-year prison sentence from 2008 to 2014, Papoose held her down publicly and consistently, and the culture rewarded him for it. That loyalty became his identity, which is exactly why what happened next hit so hard. By 2022, cracks had started forming publicly, with rumors connecting Remy Ma to a battle rapper named Easy the Block Captain. Those rumors lingered, and then at the end of 2024, everything escalated overnight. Read what Remy actually posted. Read it carefully. She posted alleged text messages between Papoose and Claressa Shields, accused her husband of cheating on her with a boxer, and wrote directly, "I begged at Papoose to put out something to stop the narrative, and he kept telling me just stay quiet, that that's the best thing to do. Well, I'm tired." She also exposed what she described as private communications, posting, Papoose dumbass fell asleep on the phone with Claressa Shields. Now I'm telling everything. Oh, and baby girl, you're not the only one. That phrase, "you're not the only one," landed like a grenade online. Remy accused Claressa's team of planting fake stories, quoted Papoose as having told her he would never be with Claressa, and then said she saw everything, and the world was going to see it too. People started connecting dots immediately, and the narrative around Claressa shifted overnight from boxing champion to the other woman. Papoose countered by accusing Remy of cheating on him for years with another man, and what hip-hop had held up as an ideal for over a decade crumbled in real time with millions of people watching it happen. And then the DMs came out, with timestamps, and Papoose used those timestamps to build his entire defense. But here is the problem with that defense.
Both Claressa and Papoose have been deliberate and specific about the origin timeline because in a situation this messy, the timestamps are everything. July 2024, a Shakur Stevenson fight in New Jersey. Papoose attended as a boxing fan, recognized Claressa, and introduced himself at a public event. Their connection that night was two people meeting in a crowd. The next day, Claressa reached out through DMs and said it was great to meet him. And when Papoose sat down with DJ Vlad in April 2026, he made a deliberate point about those messages. But if you go through a DM, what does it have on it, Vlad? Timestamps and the date. Do the math on that timeline. And then ask yourself why the question of what happened before those timestamps has never been fully answered.
From that first meeting, Claressa invited Papoose to one of her fights in Detroit. He showed up, and something developed from there. Whether that development crossed any lines before Papoose was fully separated from Remy Ma is the question the internet has refused to stop asking, and it is the one question neither of them has been able to put fully to rest, which is exactly why this situation keeps escalating every time people think it has settled. Just when you thought the timeline was starting to make sense, the relationship went fully public. And what Papoose did next surprised everyone who thought they knew what kind of man he was. December 2024 forced the situation into the open, and the couple made a choice to step forward rather than fall back. February 2025. Papoose walked Claressa to the ring for her heavyweight fight against Danielle Perkins, and that moment landed hard in ways that went beyond boxing. A man accused of cheating on his wife with this woman was now escorting her publicly, in front of thousands of people, on camera. Behind the scenes, the talk was already getting messy. People began saying Claressa might not have been moving right from the beginning, and that accusation only added pressure to a situation that was already building fast. During an Instagram Live around that time, Claressa said, "I love him. I love having his support. His support is very different from what I've had in the past. How he speaks to me is very different." Valentine's Day weekend found them together in Hawaii for the inaugural Win Records Hawaii Fest 2025, posting and appearing unbothered, while the public stayed very bothered because Papoose remained legally married to Remy Ma, and that fact kept the fire going, regardless of what either of them posted. May 2025 brought Claressa's first Breakfast Club appearance to address things directly. On Papoose's marital status, she said, "It's the elephant in the room. I don't have to say it, in his personal life. But that takes time, and like I said, that's not my place to speak on. It'll get handled." On the question of whether she was holding back emotionally, she replied, "No, because we are together all the time. We talk about so many different things, kids and family and stuff like that, but that still has to get taken care of." On Remy, she kept it measured. "I don't have any ill will toward any women, and I don't have any ill will toward her. She made her post and whatever, and that was about it." And on her confidence in Papoose, she said, "I'm such a secure woman when it comes to him, because he's proven it to me. When somebody is just truthful with you from the beginning, there is no secrets." People online were not fully buying it. The reactions split fast, with some saying she had nothing to prove, and others convinced she was trying to get ahead of a situation that was already further along than she was letting on. Here is the part that nobody was paying close enough attention to: the divorce. Because what was happening legally behind closed doors was about to make everything else looks simple.
And before I go any further, drop a comment right now saying receipts if you are watching this whole thing because you need to know every single detail. Because my cat has been staring at me judgmentally for 3 days straight, and I need to know somebody out there actually cares about this channel. Papoose filed for divorce from Remy Ma in May 2025. That part is confirmed. Let me repeat that so it really sinks in. He filed in May 2025, and as of April 2026, that divorce has still not been confirmed as finalized. 11 months, no finalization. Remy Ma went on Instagram Live in May 2025 and said everything was signed and ready to go, adding, "I couldn't take it anymore. I said we can't keep doing this." She indicated she was simply waiting for the process to finish, and then turned around and publicly claimed Papoose was the one causing the delay, even offering to pay for the dissolution herself just to get it done. They have a 7-year-old daughter together named Reminisce, which added another dimension to everything playing out behind closed doors. And during all of this, while the divorce sat unfinished, Claressa went on a major podcast and announced baby plans for 2026. She said, "I'm going to have a baby next year. We already had it planned out."
Think about what that says. A man who has not finalized his divorce and his girlfriend is publicly announcing they have already planned a child together? The announcement hit social media immediately, and the reaction was divided straight down the middle because the math on that situation was not adding up for a significant portion of the public watching it unfold. But it gets worse. And when I say worse, I mean the pattern that started with one unfinished divorce was about to repeat itself in a way that made the entire situation feel like a cycle nobody could break out of.
By mid-2025, a clear pattern had established itself. And once you see the pattern, it is hard to unsee it. Claressa would move through her life publicly. A new wave of rumors would surface, the situation would escalate, and she would snap back hard and fast. Every single time. August 2025, the first full split rumor cycle. Social media convinced itself the couple had broken up, with no confirmed receipts to support it, and the speculation flooded timelines overnight. Claressa posted a video of herself at Papoose's mother's house and wrote, "All I see is lies. Stop lying. Me and my man at his mama house eating victory dinner that she cooked for me. I see I gotta start checking y'all lies. We great over here." When someone in the comments pushed back and implied she was performing for an audience, she fired back. "You mad that I check stuff? Stop lying." On X, she followed it with, "I just be watching God handle my enemies. Yeah, uppercut him, God. Get him. Don't turn him loose." That pattern, live your life, get accused of something, snap back publicly, became the defining rhythm of this whole unfolding situation. September 7, 2025, the MTV VMAs at UBS Arena in New York. Their first official red carpet appearance together, marking their approximate 1-year anniversary. Papoose posted, "They say time flies when you're having fun. Can't believe it's been 1 full year already. Happy 1-year anniversary to my diamond." Claressa posted, "Happy 1-year anniversary at Papoose. 365 days of love with my favorite person. You've been my rock, guiding me through the ups and downs." And still, a significant portion of the audience watching them was waiting for the moment it fell apart. November 11, 2025 brought the engagement ring situation, and it escalated fast. A resurfaced video of Claressa showing off a diamond ring on her left hand circulated everywhere, with her saying on camera, "You see this big ring on my finger? Bling, bling, bling. Engaged." The internet immediately assumed Papoose had proposed, and the speculation spread before Claressa could even respond. When she did respond, she went to the Shade Room's comment section directly and clarified that the footage was old from a previous relationship where she had been engaged to someone else entirely and had nothing to do with Papoose.
The clip had been resurfaced deliberately to create a narrative, and the fact that it worked even temporarily told you something about how hungry the audience was for a new development in this story. Fast forward to December 2025, and the couple sat down together for the interview that divided the internet more cleanly than anything before it. And Claressa did something that nobody in that room expected.
December 2025. Claressa and Papoose sat down together at the Breakfast Club with Charlemagne the God, DJ Envy, and Jess Hilarious. And what followed was the most talked about interview the couple had done together, generating reactions that split audiences completely and kept clips circulating for weeks afterward. Papoose addressed the cheating allegations directly. None of that shit was true. None of it. He reminded the hosts that during Remy Ma's 6 years in prison, not a single cheating allegation had surfaced against him, and Charlemagne backed that up. On Remy herself, he kept it measured. I got nothing bad to say about her. Let me make that clear. Claressa, rather than sitting quietly in the background, stepped in multiple times, and those interjections became the thing that drove the most intense online reaction.
She said, "Everybody knows that before I came into the picture, now it's just these two in the picture. Y'all know where it started. I had nothing to do with anything. When me and him got together, he was already separated, so y'all know what happened before that." She also said, "Some of this stuff is just so old. She got somebody too. Like, don't act like it's just over here. Like, she's happy, we're happy, and that's it." Nearly 24 minutes into a 50-minute interview, the conversation had not moved past Papoose and Remy Ma. Read that number again. 24 minutes.
Critics felt she flipped the narrative in a way that crossed a line. Supporters saw someone refusing to let false narratives sit unchallenged. The audience was split, but everyone agreed on one thing. This situation was nowhere near over. But it gets worse. Because just when the Breakfast Club drama started cooling down, someone with a very specific grudge and a very large platform decided it was time to get involved.
And then 50 Cent got involved. Using social media posts, AI-generated videos, and diss tracks, 50 Cent pushed accusations that Claressa Shields had been cheating on Papoose with a G-Unit affiliated artist named Maserati Bud. Here is the part that matters. Reports suggested 50 Cent was not just talking. He was pushing posts hinting at private receipts and alleged recordings, and that sent this situation into a completely different phase almost overnight. The tension between 50 Cent and Papoose had existed for years, partly rooted in teasing 50 had directed at Remy Ma during the time she and Papoose were together, and this felt like that older beef being weaponized against a new target.
At first, Papoose treated it like internet trolling and stood up for Claressa publicly, calling out the disrespect. But the noise did not die down. Instead, the rumors kept stacking, including claims that 50 Cent may have sent alleged footage or information directly to Papoose behind the scenes, which only made things more intense in ways not fully visible to the public, but clearly affecting the situation. Papoose addressed it in his VladTV interview, confirmed Claressa had already told him about the Maserati Bud situation before 50 made it public, called the accusations cap, and described the whole thing as a distraction from a diss track he had sent 50's way. He also mentioned Claressa was exploring a potential legal response to 50 Cent, though he did not get into specifics.
The fact that Claressa herself had to be brought up in that context as someone potentially pursuing legal action over leaked or fabricated content added a layer to this situation that had not existed before. And once outside voices like 50 Cent step in and start pushing alleged receipts and footage into the conversation, it becomes significantly harder for either party to control how the narrative moves. March 2026 added another rumor, this one claiming Papoose had been spotted with Remy Ma at a Cardi B concert. Claressa pushed back on X, retweeting posts that dismissed the claim. Behind closed doors, nobody outside their circle actually knew what the full picture looked like, and that uncertainty is exactly what kept people watching and kept the speculation flooding timelines.
Okay, listen, if you have made it this far and you have not liked this video yet, I just want you to know my mom has started packing my bags and she said I cannot come back home until I prove this channel is real. So tap the like button right now. You are literally saving a family relationship. Here is the part nobody is fully reporting on. The VladTV interview did not just address 50 Cent. It addressed the engagement. And what Papoose said, and more importantly, how he said it, is what actually broke the internet.
Starting around April 9th, 2026, VladTV began releasing clips from a multi-part sit-down with Papoose, and each segment landed with its own wave of reaction. The cheating timeline, the breadwinner accusations, the question of engagement, and one question that nobody expected Vlad to actually ask, each one escalating the situation further than the last. On the cheating timeline, Papoose was methodical. Yeah, me and Claressa met July of 2024, Vlad. And you know what's very interesting? We met at the Shakur Stevenson fight in New Jersey. But the next day after we met, we talked through the DM and she said, "Hey, it was great meeting you, Papoose. But if you go through a DM, what does it have on it, Vlad? Timestamps and the date." He called the cheating narrative a false narrative and let the timestamps do the arguing.
On the breadwinner question, the persistent narrative that Claressa was financially carrying him, Papoose cited a $1.5 million record deal, years of international touring, multiple album releases, and executive roles, including his position at Win Records. Claressa had separately told Breakfast Club hosts that Papoose covers her mortgage, her car insurance, and her car note, and that she had not personally paid for a flight or hotel in longer than she could remember. And then came the engagement segment. Let me set this up properly because this is the moment everything crystallized. Claressa Shields has a tattoo of Papoose's name on her body. She announced baby plans for 2026 on a major podcast. She called him her rock in a public anniversary post. She has been defending this relationship publicly, loudly, and without backing down for over a year.
And when Vlad asked Papoose whether they were engaged, Papoose responded, no, we have bought each other gifts for different holidays. I bought nice gifts for Valentine's Day, Christmas, her birthday, so we've exchanged numerous gifts, but never a ring." The phrase that circulated from that exchange was absolutely not. Do the math on that. His name is on her body. She announced his child on a podcast. He said absolutely not to a ring. On camera, on VladTV. A tweet from a user named Milagro Press went viral immediately. Pap didn't say anything wrong. He simply clarified and answered the questions posed, but I didn't like it. Why did it have to be absolutely not?
From there, the floodgates opened and did not close. One fan wrote, "Damn, never a ring? What the F, Pap? Lol. I hope she leave him." Another posted, "Y'all know he don't want her, and when she crash out, she will have her phone propped up for us to take part." Someone else wrote, "She needs to go to therapy to deal with her trauma. Leave that man alone and go get herself a single man." People were not just reacting to the content of what Papoose said. They were reacting to the energy behind it, the tone, the speed of the denial, the lack of warmth in how it was delivered. And in situations where public perception shapes the narrative, tone can matter as much as facts. The same interview also confirmed that despite the anniversary posts, the public declarations, and the baby planning conversations, Claressa and Papoose maintained separate homes.
And then Vlad asked the question that nobody expected him to actually put on the table, whether Papoose was physically afraid to break up with Claressa, because she is, after all, one of the greatest boxers alive. Papoose dismissed it, said their relationship was built on genuine affection and would never involve anything like that, praised her as a powerful, independent woman and a role model, and mentioned the tattoo Claressa has of his name on her body as proof of their commitment. But the fact that the question was asked, filmed, and released publicly added something to the conversation that lingered. Once something like that gets into the timeline, it does not leave quietly.
And just when the VladTV fallout looked like it might be the final chapter, Remy Ma reminded everyone that she had not finished saying what she had to say. Remy Ma released a new freestyle in April 2026 titled YWFL, in which she appeared to take shots at Papoose and pushed back on his ghostwriting claims, pulling that entire thread back into the spotlight at the exact moment the VladTV interview was generating its own wave of attention. Old clips resurfaced alongside it, timelines flooded again, and the pattern that is run through this entire situation repeated itself one more time. No confirmed breakup between Claressa Shields and Papoose has been reported. As recently as April 3rd, 2026, just days before the VladTV clip started dropping, Papoose was commenting warmly on Claressa's Instagram posts, and she was responding with the kind of familiarity that does not read as performance. That is the confirmed picture.
What people are watching for now falls into three groups. One group is waiting to see whether Papoose steps away publicly or continues standing beside Claressa in visible ways. Another group is tracking whether any alleged footage or private content surfaces, because 50 Cent's involvement planted that possibility in the conversation, and it has not fully left. A third group is watching Claressa herself, tracking every post, every comment, every silence, looking for the moment she either snaps back harder than she has before or goes quiet in a way that tells its own story. The situation is loud, it is messy, it is still unfolding, and the pressure keeps building from multiple directions simultaneously. 50 Cent on one side, Remy Ma on another, a public that has been watching this for a year and a half and still feels like it has not seen the full picture. And at the center of it all, a woman with 18 world championships and an undefeated record who has not backed down from a single accusation yet.
Claressa Shields grew up in Flint, Michigan, started boxing at 11, and has never lost a professional fight across 18 bouts and 5 weight classes. She carries 2 Olympic gold medals, an $8 million deal locked in November 2025, and a February 2026 performance where she won every round on every scorecard. And the situation consuming her public narrative involves cheating accusations, alleged receipts, leaked information pushed by 50 Cent, an unfinished divorce, a VladTV interview that felt cold to people who were rooting for, and a public that has been watching this unfold for over a year and keeps feeling like the next reveal is right around the corner.
She has responded to every wave of it. She has snapped back every time the rumors came. She has not gone quiet, has not retreated, has not handed the narrative over to anyone else. And that is either the move of someone who has nothing to hide and knows it, or someone who understands that in a situation this public, silence gets interpreted as confirmation. Think about what that says about where this is actually headed. His name is tattooed on her body. He said absolutely not to a ring. They live in separate homes. The divorce is still not finalized. The cheating accusations have not been settled with verified evidence. 50 Cent has not gone quiet. Remy Ma just dropped a freestyle. And behind closed doors, nobody outside their immediate circle knows what the full picture looks like.
Claressa Shields has never lost a professional fight in her life. Whether that same record holds up outside the ring is the question nobody can fully answer yet, and it is the reason people keep watching. If this video gave you everything you needed and you still did not subscribe, I genuinely do not know what to tell you. My Wi-Fi is already on thin ice, my neighbor keeps threatening to change the password, and you are out here just watching for free like it is nothing. Hit subscribe, save the Wi-Fi, save the channel. We will see you in the next one.